I'm not in a position to really judge or comment on. I don't have any thoughts really on the subject of what Russia and the media are doing with respect to me. I know that as far as I'm concerned, the legal maneuvering, game board interpretation of the whole mess is being promoted by, it's a form of particularist fetish mongering for interrogation. Um, whether it's beside the point to me on two counts. One is that people had the right to be warned about what was happening, and the people who were responsible for that script should have been intercepted and stopped from it doing anything more. And two, I know that the people who make this argument destroyed evidence and covered up what they claim to be so justified in announcing bellicosity towards me about. Well, I'd like to explain what the situation really was, okay, just so you know. A Attica State Prison psychiatrist, a obviously very well respected, talented, powerful, corrections practitioner, organized through Hollywood in Pittsburgh, studios like George Romero's, a very malevolent and cruel and violent underworld situation. And they expected a child to understand what was going on, who was being made out to be just hated for being pretty and sheltered, middle class, liberal. In that I supported Kennedy. Without any background in these kinds of issues, without any comprehension of the magnitude of what was happening, without any investigation. And so for me, trying to find out what was going on was the root problem. It wasn't trying to get over, it wasn't trying to get away with anything, it wasn't trying to have pleasure, it wasn't anything else. The more I learned, the more clear it was what was happening. I told many people. Howard Diversion asked me, why did you go there? It looks like you were after a smorgasbord. I said I was following the leader. And he just shook his head. That'll never stand up against people who say you were in vice. Well, in the grips of vice, a sex addict or whatever. Well, a child psychologist might point out that there was brutal brainwashing to dismiss my personal significance and just allow myself to be used to save my own life. That's trafficking. But I was right about following the leader. I actually produced documents by Greg Carr in which he said the persona is subjected to successive degradations of the X motive. So I was right that it was organized pornography genocide in the interest of chivalry towards chastity, was their selling point. I mean, these issues should be discussed. Sex out of wedlock was an issue in medieval times. You know, the Inquisition weirdness takes the form of legal niceties being lampooned by people who destroyed evidence. I mean, Oliver Stone was talking about the old man in the sea, how he gets home with nothing but bare bones for all his troubles or something, you know. Like they were going to have fun doing this. Well, there are clear indications that I've been telling the truth all along, but have just been refused recognition for the content of my concern. A sergeant in Pittsburgh police I told the reason I got in so deep was because I, I couldn't believe what I was finding was real. And she told me that she understood that. It's the same dimension of description of the situation that you find in my spontaneous answer to Howard Diversion that I was following the Lear, and it turned out to be productive. You know, I may have been telling myself this can't be real, but it was salient, it was powerful, it was clear and present in what they were doing. So, you know, the real issue seems to me is that a child was expected to understand an organized crime with Hollywood studios run locally by an administrator from Attica State Prison Psychiatry. While people were denying I was battered, slaughtering blows to the head, recurrent over and over, neurological injuries being inflicted with nerve agents. And they kept saying, well, these are ingredients in Beatles songs, so I had it coming. I mean, listen, it makes sense to people who are slave traffickers. Why would it make sense to anybody else? I don't understand why it would make sense to anybody else. So why would anybody want to be associated with an argument justifying what they did? I don't understand that.